It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Mallassepat Brewery in Finland. Lovely Finland. I've drank some fantastic beers from Finland over the years, and I've drank some fantastic beers from this brewery in Finland. Mallassepat. I like the fact that he's got his great big hammer there. He's hammering down on the malt. A very kind of Viking, strong, northern feel to it, you know. The beer is 5.3% ABV. It's part of their Humala series, and it's their Simcoe Hazy IPA, a Simcoe single hop beer at 40 IBUs. Pint Please. Oh, they're with my good friends at Pint Please as well. They're doing something there. So maybe if you put this into your Pint Please app, well, you might get something. Who knows? Have a look at Pint Please. It's a bit like Untapped, Pint Please. If I got time, I'll talk about it later on. I should have time. I'll come back to it later on, if I remember. So I think for their beers that are available all year round, I think they've decided to go with these 330 milliliter cans. I think with their experimental beers, they're still using the big pint cans, which are really good. So beer in the glass, we've got a 2-finger white head. It's quite hazy, little bit of carbonation rolling up the side of the glass, but it's much more. It looks very soft. It's a very soft beer. This. So just finished reviewing a Smithy's Bitter from Australia, and this looks a very different beer. This looks like, well, it's very much unfiltered to begin with, and it's probably got an awful lot of hops in the fermenter rather than with the Smithy's Bitter, which was very nice. I really enjoyed it. I give it a 9 out of 10. That beer was more, yeah, bitter in the boil, so lots of hops in the boil, whereas this would have an awful lot of hops in the fermenter. Let's get the aroma then. Smells fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Really juicy. Very tart. Citrusy. Lots of passion fruit, mango, grapefruit. It smells absolutely delicious, this one. Really fresh, really kind of like on the end of your nose fresh. Let's dive in. Oh, one more thing I want to talk about quickly before I dive in is there's next to no sediment in the bottom of the glass. There we go. Right, let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Superb, rich and creamy. So the mouthfeel has a heading towards a medium mouthfeel. So they definitely brewed the beer with some oats. There's definitely some oats in here. You can feel a little bit of that carbonation though with the mouthfeel. It's rich and creamy, but the carbonation is pushing the beer on the inside of the mouth, releasing more of that flavour. In terms of flavour, I'm going to start off with the malt, so that kind of malt sweetness over here. I'm going to start off talking about the malt because it is quite dominated with a hop flavour. So I could talk about the hops for an awful long time, but I like to cover things that are coming first on the palate. So initially it's definitely more of a, and it's only brief. It's only a brief flavour. It's more of a kind of sweetness coming through. A little bit of almost like a sherbety sweetness over here. Mixing with the hops, of course, giving that sherbet flavour. But it's like a wafer. It's like a wafer flavour. A clean, dry, clean, crisp wafer. Very nice. And then, of course, we can now talk about the hops. So the flavour is very much in the middle here. You get some malt, you get a lot in the middle, you get a small touch of bitterness on the back end, but everything's in the middle, everything's centred around that kind of middle of palate. So passion fruit, mango, grapefruit, orange peel, fleshy blood orange. It's a bit like turning up to a wedding party and they've got a great big punch bowl in the middle of the party floor, if you like, eating room, and you scoop out with a ladle a glass of punch. It's very, very mango-like. It's very grapefruit, passion fruit-like. I'm not sure if you have passion fruit and grapefruit with punch. I'm sure punch is red, which this isn't. But it's very, very nice. A very, very nice beer. Really good. So Simcoe Single Hop IPA, Simcoe the Cascade on steroids, is often described as having aromas and flavours of citrus, passion fruit, apricot, sweet fruit and pine. Try it yourself. So we have a gauge here on the back, and the gauge is like full on up here and nothing down the bottom. So the body is kind of halfway, just below halfway. So like on its way to being a medium body. The bitterness is halfway, 50-50, and the hop flavour is kind of heading towards being full, 2/3 of the way up on the bar there, if you want to have a quick look at that. There we go. And Mallassepat Oy, they're based in Naantali in Finland. And Pint Please, I wanted to talk to you about Pint Please. So fantastic people at Pint Please. We've done bits and pieces with Pint Please. I've definitely had a few pints with the guys from Pint Please in Brew London in 2021. It's a fantastic app where it's a bit like Untapped, where download it, you can start jotting your beers down, but it's very it's a bit more graphical than Untapped. I find Untapped is a good app to use, Untapped, but it's quite basic. These guys are going down the route of, like, there's more graphics going on when you're kind of checking a beer in. Something might spin round, or it's a bit more kind of happening, which I quite like. So if you're looking for something slightly different to Untapped, or if you haven't downloaded a beer app yet where you're checking your beers in, have a look at Pint Please. It's available on iOS and Android. Right, I'm ready to rate this one. Pardon me. The January Sniffles. Yeah, this Simcoe beer is very good. It's a very, very good beer. It looks good, it smells good, and it tastes superb. I really like it. I like it enough to give it a Stone the Crows 9 out of 10. So 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers.